Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, we are going to be discussing the books that I read in the month of August. So starting with some statistics, I read 6 books, 2 fantasy, 1 dark romance, 1 memoir, 1 thriller, and 1 romance. The average rating was a 3.9 and I read 2,153 pages. So the first book that I read in the month of August was Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I first read this at some point last year and I've been dying to reread it because I kind of forgot a lot of what happened. So I finally reread it and it was fantastic. It was always going to be fantastic. The story follows a girl named Peyton and she's living in the slums of Ilya. That is like a poorer part, so she's living on a street with her best friend Adina, and one day she comes across a fight breaking out and she goes and helps the fight. She goes and helps. So soon she comes to realize that the man she was helping in the attack was the enforcer for the king's son, and the enforcer is the person who kills ordinaries, and Peyton is an ordinary. Now, an ordinary does not have any powers. Elites are people who have a lot of power, and mundanes are kind of in the middle, like they don't have a lot of power, but they don't have none. So, Peyton is hoping not to be killed by the enforcer, who is taught to kill people. She meets him and she steals money from him, not knowing that he was the future enforcer of Ilya. And so the trials are coming up, which is kind of like, if you think of the Hunger Games, it's kind of like that, because I feel like this is very much based on the Hunger Games. If you read it, you'll understand. But the trials basically go through multiple different trials, and the person who wins gets like a bunch of money. I forgot how much it is, but the person who wins get a bunch of money, and you're supposed to kill any person that you can. Very different from the Hunger Games. As to this one, you're not supposed to kill to win, whereas in here you can kill, but it's not like required to win. She is pretending to be a mundane that has psychic powers, and so because she's pretending to be a mundane, she gets put in the trials. There is Powerless for you. It is so unbelievably good. I love this book so much. It is like one of my probably in my top 5 of this entire year so far. It was fantastic. I rated this a 5 stars, of course, because why wouldn't I? And here are all my tabs. I'm so super proud of them. They're so pretty. And you may be asking, Gia, why do you have one blue tab and all the other ones match the cover? Oh, that's just because Kai has her. Anyways, that was Powerless. Next, I read Powerful by Lauren Roberts. This is the novella that comes after Powerless, and this is Adina's journey. This is what she was up to during Powerless when Peyton was in the trials, and this was it was a book. It was definitely something. There were tears sobbed. There were hearts being broken. I'm rating it a 3.5 because it's a novella and there wasn't much to it, but it was still fantastic. It was still great and I still really enjoyed it. And my heart will be forever ripped out of my chest. Then I read The Predator by Runix. This was a interesting book per se. Basically, it is about these 2 mafia groups who are like rivals. They are literally rival mafias. And the main character, her name is, I think, Marana. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but we're just gonna stick with Marana. So the main character, Marana, is like crazy smart. Like, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Her IQ is literally 10 billion. So she made these codes that can literally hack into any mafia group and steal any information she wants. So her ex-boyfriend, but her boyfriend at the time, stole the codes from her, and somehow, I don't really know how to explain the rest of it because I still never got closure on what exactly happened, which is why I'm giving this book a 3.25 stars. Because it didn't make any sense. I was really confused. We disregarded the entire codes thing at the end. This was the entire plot line, was about the codes. And at the end, we just completely disregarded them. There was nothing there. There was nothing given. The whole plot was fantastic, but if it was like played out better. I felt like it could have been higher, which is which is why I'm giving it a 3.25 stars, which is pretty high because I was gonna give it like a 2.5, but I'm giving it a 3.25 because it had so much potential and it was great. I was really liking it up to like 50%, and once 50% came, I was like, oh, it wasn't doing too hot. I liked the tension. I really enjoyed the tension between the two. I would like to add though that dark romance is not my favorite. Not even close to my favorite genre. Next, I read The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. I feel like this is a book that we don't talk about enough. Genuinely, I feel like nobody talks about this book enough because I am in just genuine awe. I think I read this in two or 3 days, which is great for me. I think it was like 275. It was 275 pages. Oh my goodness me. When I tell you I put this book down, stared out the window for like 10 minutes after reading it because I physically could not do anything. I know Britney probably was not looking for sympathy through this book. She was more looking to just share her experience and help people know that she is not crazy. She was being portrayed as crazy because of all of the stuff she went through, when it was not her. It was her father. It was the media, her ex-husband. Of course, because this is a memoir, I will not be giving a rating. If I did give a rating, this would be a 5 stars immediately, but I'm still not going to give a rating just because that just doesn't feel right. Absolutely fantastic. You need to read this book immediately. The next book I read was The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose, I'm pretty sure. She really just blew me away with this one. I was looking at some of the ratings after I finished reading it, and I was like, whoa, like not a lot of people enjoyed this book. Like I was looking and I was like, oh, it's so predictable. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. And I was like, I guessed like part of it because I did figure out like a small portion of what happens, but I don't know. Let's talk about the book though. The Perfect Marriage is a dual point of view, and it is between a married couple, the woman in the relationship. We're just gonna say that because I completely forgot the names. But the woman in the relationship is a lawyer, and the man is cheating on his wife, the lawyer, with another girl. A few days later, actually it's like right into the book, like literally I think it was like 20 pages into the book this happened. So again, not a spoiler. The person that the guy is cheating on his wife with dies. Her name is Kelly, I think. That's the only thing I remember. But Kelly ends up dying, and she's like stabbed to death. She was like drugged, and nobody knows how because the guy is saying he didn't do it. And you remember the wife? The wife that's a lawyer? She decides to be the lawyer for her husband, who supposedly killed his mistress. Wow. Oh my god. Oh, it was so good. I'm rating it a 4.5. I know. If you love psychological, like if you like to figure stuff out, like mysteries and stuff like that, this is the book for you. And lastly, I read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I was going into this thinking that this was going to be a 5 stars, I'm not gonna lie. I was so incredibly hyped up for this book. No. No. The amount of times this woman described herself as small, no. It was okay halfway through. I was like probably a 4 stars or over halfway through this book. That's what I was thinking. Then I decided to look at the Goodreads ratings. Tell me why I literally said, why are they kind of true? To the 1-star ratings, like halfway through and on. I was like, no. She described herself as small, I want to say at least 20 times in this book. At least. Just for the Summer is about this woman who is a nurse, and she doesn't have a house, right? She moves like back and forth between like whatever places in the United States, gets a hotel or like rents a house or whatever for however long, and she stays there, does what she needs to do, and moves to a different state with her best friend. So there's this like, am I the asshole thing, which you've probably heard about before, but if you haven't, it's on, I believe, Reddit, and you post a story about something and that happened to you where it ends in somebody being rude or mean or disliking you, and so you post it to get other people's opinions, and it's called Am I the Asshole? So the guy, Justin, in this book posts an Am I the Asshole? And she swipes up on it or replies to it, and she has the same problem. Now, the problem being that whenever somebody dates Justin, the person that they date afterwards is their soulmate and who they wind up marrying, having kids with, and that has happened multiple times to him. So Emma, main character in the book, has the exact same issue. So that is how they bond, that is how they get to know each other, and he wants her to come to Minnesota, where he lives. That's how it goes. This is not a summer book whatsoever. If you're picking this up thinking that you're gonna have an amazing summer read and it's gonna be so cute, it's not. This has like no summer aspects to it, except that it was like a lake house that had a beach on it. This could be based in the winter as much as it could be in the summer. 3.25. So those are the books that I read in the month of August. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.